Level 1, the deputy. You were born around 1280 in the Mali Empire, West Africa, into the Keita dynasty. The royal house descended from Sundiata Keita, the warrior king who built this empire from nothing 60 years before you arrived. You are Sundiata's grandnephew. The blood of the founding runs through you, but the throne does not belong to you. It never should. There are kings above you in the line. You grow up in Niani, the imperial capital on the upper Niger River, inside a palace built by the wealthiest ruling house in the known world. The Mali Empire stretches 2,000 miles from the Atlantic coast to the cities of the Niger Bend, gold mines in the south, salt deposits in the north, trade routes threading through the Sahara, connecting your kingdom to Egypt, Morocco, and beyond. Half the world's gold passes through this empire. You did not build this, you were born inside it. Close enough to the throne to understand how power works, far enough from it to believe you will never hold it. Then, one morning, a king does something that will change your life. Level 2, the empty throne. You are in your 20s. The Mansa of Mali, your predecessor, the king above you, is a man consumed by a question that keeps him awake. What lies beyond the western horizon? The Atlantic Ocean stretches out from the coast of West Africa, and no one has ever come back from it with an answer. He decides he will find one himself. He commissions a fleet. The chroniclers who record this describe 2,000 ships loaded with men, supplies, and gold, sailing west into the Atlantic to discover what is there. He leads the expedition himself. He appoints you deputy in his absence. He sails. Not one ship returns. There is no message, no survivor, no signal from the horizon. The ocean takes the entire fleet and gives nothing back. You wait. You send search parties. You receive nothing. Months become the confirmation you have been avoiding. The king is gone. His throne is empty, and you are standing beside it. You step forward. In 1312, you become the Mansa of Mali, the emperor of the wealthiest kingdom on earth. You did not want it this way. You did not plan this. You are standing in a dead man's place, looking out over an empire worth more than you can measure. Level 3, the weight of gold. You are learning the size of what you have inherited. The Mali Empire sits on top of the Bambouk and Bure goldfields, the largest known deposits of gold in the medieval world. Every year, caravans leave the south carrying gold north across the Sahara. They return carrying salt from the Tagaza mines, where the earth is so salt-saturated that the buildings are made of it. A slab of salt in the south of your empire is worth its weight in gold. A nugget of gold in the north is worth its weight in salt. You control both ends of this trade and the routes between them. Neighboring kingdoms pay you tribute. Timbuktu, the trading city on the Niger Bend, funnels goods from 3 continents through its markets. The gold that passes through your empire does not trickle. It floods. By the time you are established on the throne, you have more gold than any ruler alive can count. You also have an obligation that weighs more than the gold. You are a devout Muslim. The 5th pillar of your faith requires every Muslim who is able to make the Hajj, the pilgrimage to Mecca. You are able. You are more than able. The only question is, how? Level 4, the road. You are 44 years old. The year is 1324. You have been planning this journey for years. No Mansa of Mali has ever made the Hajj on a scale like this, and you will not make it quietly. This is not vanity. This is policy. Mali is the richest kingdom on earth, and most of the world does not know it exists. Egypt knows Mali through trade. The Arab scholars know Mali through their chronicles, but the breadth of it, the depth of the gold, the learning, the power, is invisible to those outside the Sahara. You intend to change this. You assemble a caravan of 60,000 men. 12,000 of your attendants are dressed in brocade and Persian silk, the finest cloth that money can acquire. 500 of them march at the front of the procession, each carrying a golden staff weighing roughly 2.7 kilograms, each staff pure gold. Behind them walk your court, your soldiers, your scholars, your griots. 80 camels follow, each loaded with 136 kilograms, 300 pounds of gold dust. You leave Niani and begin the journey north. The Sahara lies ahead. Mecca is more than 4,000 kilometers away. No one who sees this caravan can pretend they did not. Level 5, Cairo. You are in Egypt, July 1324. Your caravan camps for 3 days near the pyramids of Giza. The pyramid fields have been standing for nearly 4,000 years. Your treasury could build something taller. The Sultan of Egypt, Al-Nasir Mohammed, sends an invitation for you to visit his court. You initially decline. You are not a vassal. You came here on a pilgrimage, not a diplomatic submission. Your advisors press. Eventually you go, but you do not bow. The moment is tense. Both parties are proud, and accommodation is found. In Cairo, you spend 3 months. Your caravan disperses through the markets of the city, and what happens next is not something you plan. You begin giving gold away. You give it to the poor in the streets. You give it to government officials. You give it to scholars. You overpay at every market stall. You tip in gold dust. You were told you should build a mosque for each Friday of your journey. You commission them. You give formal charitable donations totaling 20,000 ounces of gold to the city, to Mecca, and to Medina. What you do not yet understand, what no one tells you in Cairo, is what you are doing to the price of gold while you do it. You are flooding the economy of Egypt with so much of it that the value of gold itself is beginning to collapse. Level 6, the crash. You are in Mecca. The pilgrimage is complete. You have done what your faith required. You stand at the Kaaba. You have brought your wealth to the holiest place in Islam and given it with open hands. You feel the full weight of what you owe God, and you have paid some of it. Then the news from Cairo arrives. Your spending has not just been generous, it has been catastrophic. The gold price in Egypt has fallen by roughly 20%. In a gold-based economy, this is not an abstraction. It means merchants are poorer. It means wages buy less. It means trade routes that run on gold calculations have to be recalculated at a loss. The Egyptian economy will not recover for 12 years. You did not intend this. You were fulfilling the command of your faith and the obligation of your position. The damage is real, regardless of intention. On your return journey through Cairo, you do something that almost no ruler in history does. You try to fix the problem you caused. You borrow gold back from Cairo's moneylenders at high interest to pull some of the excess out of the market. You are the richest man alive, and you are taking out loans to repair the economy of a foreign country that you accidentally broke. The Cairo moneylenders are the only men in history who lent gold at interest to the wealthiest person who ever lived. Level 7, the architect. You are returning to Mali. You did not travel to Mecca and back alone. You have brought something home with you. Among the scholars, poets, and architects who chose to follow you out of Cairo and Mecca is a man from Granada named Abu Ishaq al-Sahili, an Andalusian poet and legal scholar of considerable reputation. You have persuaded him to come to Mali. The inducement? 12,000 mithqals of gold, a house, land along the Niger, a permanent place at your court. He accepts. On the return journey, you pass through Gao and then Timbuktu, 2 cities that will define your legacy. At Timbuktu, you commission al-Sahili to oversee the construction of a great mosque, the Jingo Rebbe. The building rises from the earth in a style that blends Islamic architecture with the materials and traditions of the West African savanna. It will be completed in 1327. It still stands today. You then turn your attention to the Sankore Mosque and the university growing around it. You fund it. You staff it with the scholars you brought from Mecca. Timbuktu, already a trading city, becomes something no one planned. The intellectual capital of the medieval world's most powerful empire. At its peak, the University of Sankore will hold 25,000 students. Its library will be the largest collection of written texts on Earth since the Library of Alexandria. Level 8, the Empire at noon. You are at the height of your reign. The Mali Empire stretches across an area larger than Western Europe. It reaches from the Atlantic coast eastward past Timbuktu and Gao. You hold more than a dozen major trading cities under direct control and collect tribute from dozens more. The Saharan trade routes funnel gold north and salt south, and your treasury receives a portion of everything that moves. You have expanded the empire further by conquering the neighboring kingdom of Songhai, taking its king's sons as hostages and bringing them to Niani. You have connected Mali to the Islamic scholarly world in ways that will outlast your reign by centuries. In Europe, which does not yet know you exist, kingdoms are fighting the Black Death and each other for scraps of land. Here, your students are debating theology and mathematics and law in a city of libraries. You are 50 years old. You have ruled for over 2 decades. The empire is the largest and wealthiest it has ever been. The only threat on the horizon is the thing that ends every reign. Level 9, the thinning. You are in the final years. The sources disagree on how long you last. Some say you die in 1332, others say 1337. What is not disputed is that by the end of your life, the empire you have expanded to its farthest borders is already under strain at the edges. The Songhai resent their subjugation. The Tuareg press from the north. The trans-Saharan trade routes that feed your treasury require continuous management and force. You have spent a reign building inward, mosques, universities, libraries, architectural wonders, and the outward walls need constant reinforcement. You intended to abdicate the throne and return to Mecca. The Arabic chroniclers record this plan. You want to die in the holy city. You will not make it. The body does not wait for the itinerary. You die in Mali, probably around 1337. You are buried in the empire you did not plan to rule. Level 10. The Map. It is 1375. You have been dead for nearly 40 years. A Jewish cartographer in Majorca named Abraham Cresques is working on an atlas commissioned by the King of Aragon. It is the most sophisticated map of the world yet produced. When Cresques draws West Africa, he draws it around you. Mansa Musa sits at the center of the map, a golden throne, a golden crown, a golden orb extended in one hand, a gold nugget in the other. The Tuareg merchant on the camel is riding toward you as if you are the destination. Trade routes converge on Timbuktu behind you. The map tells every European who reads it a single fact. There is a king in Africa sitting on more gold than you can imagine, and the city behind him is where it comes from. European cartographers begin copying the image. The legend of Timbuktu, the city of gold at the edge of the known world, spreads through Portugal, Spain, Italy, France. The explorers who will spend the next century sailing south along the African coast are looking for what you showed them. You put yourself on the map. The map becomes the invitation. You are not here to see what the invitation leads to. Level 11. The Price. The Portuguese reached the West African coast in the 1440s, a century after you die. They are looking for gold. They find people. The transatlantic slave trade begins as a direct consequence of European obsession with African wealth. The same wealth that your caravan displayed across the Saharan trade routes in 1324. The same gold that Abraham Cresques painted onto the map that made every European court hungry. 12 million people are taken from West Africa across the Atlantic over the next 4 centuries. The empire you ruled at its peak, the richest, most learned civilization the medieval world produced, is systematically dismantled. Timbuktu's libraries are scattered. Its manuscripts are hidden underground by scholars trying to protect them from Moroccan invaders in 1591. The University of Sankore falls silent. The Djinguereber Mosque still stands. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site now, on a continent that lost more than anyone can measure in the centuries after you died. You were the richest human being who has ever lived. Your conservative estimated wealth in today's terms exceeds $400 billion. You spent it building knowledge, not walls. And now, you are history.